What's going on, everybody? As always, welcome to GmiasWorld, and thank you so much for all the feedback that you guys have been giving me about day one of Madden 20. We're going to still keep going on with this series. I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys have been leaving in the comments. Always remember, though, on PS4, G-M-I-A, one word, Gmia, lowercase. You guys can follow me on PS4 to stay up to date with what I'm doing going into Madden 20 and even everything that I'm doing right now with NBA 2K19 and things like that. Shout out to all you guys that's already followed. It will be a lot more information coming forward, so that's probably another way to do it if you're not following me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at GmiasWorld, all right? So here we go right now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into this. The training point dilemma, all right? Now, so many of you guys have been hitting me with this question. Gmia, listen. What am I supposed to do with this training point situation? I know the market's going to be wild and savage like at the launch. What are we supposed to do? Listen, this is very, very important that you guys understand this. Everything is expensive at the launch. So no matter what anybody tells you, you're going to have to find specific cards. Like you probably more than likely, we're going to be probably getting snipes because we haven't all decided yet if we're going to be buying packs at launch. We kind of still trying to figure it out. If the gameplay remains the same way that it was in the beta, you know, obviously I told you guys I'm going to drop that 100 on the bundle. We're going to probably go with the 40 gold premium pack. And with that, we're going to get a lot of silver and golds, which I don't really like to use the silver and golds for training because you don't get as much, and then it depends on who you're powering up and things like that, how much you're going to need. So that's going to be very, very interesting. But what I want to point out to you, what's very, very important is that you guys check out the sets at launch. I can't stress to you how important this is because even me, last year, I lost out on so much because, you know, training was so new, and I'm just like, yo, you know what? I'm looking through the auction house and I'm like, okay, this card is pretty cheap. It's an elite. Let me go ahead and snag that. I was buying like Ryan Tannehill's, whatever he was, like 80, like the lower overall elites, and getting like garbage training. When right inside the actual sets, there were so many different ways that I could have accumulated training without actually spending a lot, because I could have put certain, you know, silvers and certain golds in certain sets and got that much more training for the buck. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on what the market's going to be. But I can tell you, like, obviously, like I said, at the launch of every Madden, it's going to be wild and savage, all right? So this is what I'm going to recommend. We're going to take a look at all of these sets. Like right now, I'm just doing my daily objectives as we go through it. But we're going to take a look at all of the sets that they're offering at launch. And then we're going to make a determining decision based on that, how we should proceed. So what does that mean? Depending on what they do that's new, there may be certain things that are in the sets that give you like that one-time thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like they'll do something like, yeah, you could redeem this one time to get a certain amount of training. It's sort of like when they changed the currencies with like snow and all the other stuff they did. They did like the Super Bowl rings and all that stuff. They may give you guys things that are redeemable through tokens, which is kind of crazy that like right now I'm doing a token set. I'm not sure if they're going to start to make the tokens auctionable again, but if they leave it the way that it is, they may do something like that as far as like launching off to like get your, you know, your first set of training and stuff like that. We're going to look for the most cost-effective way. And like I said, throughout the sets, there are so many things because, for example, right, this is what happened when the game first came out, when it launched early on, they did the preseason team of the weeks, right? So these cards right here, like, you know, Tyreek Hill was obviously the team of the week guy for preseason. Dude was balling out, doing whatever he wanted, right? There was a lot of things going on with these cards. Now, the value of these cards are going to obviously be more expensive than the regular lower elites and stuff like that. But because of this, all of the other lower elites with the same overalls were cheaper. You see what I'm saying? So because of this, you know, we were able to, like, you know, accumulate different things through the lower overall elites. So remember, if they bring this back, which they're probably going to do, like this is one of their biggest things, always remember that these cards are going to trump everything else, even though similar cards will be the same rating. So if we can get a decent amount out of like the packs, say we pull the packs, say we go out, we like, yo, you know what? Gameplay looks solid. We're going to go pull some packs. This is what I'm recommending, right? Earlier in the year, they're going to do this thing with they've been doing exchange sets for a while now. So more than likely they're going to do that. If we see a value, right, with the way that the goals and everything are going, and, you know, they're going to probably stop at like probably here. Maybe they'll go to 80, 88, 89 to start, right? Say we get some elites and the value of the cards is that much exorbitant from adding, you know, a couple of these things. I probably wouldn't go this high because at launch, the 88s are going to have great value. I would probably stop around the 82 to 83. and try to pull an 85 overall player, because I think, like, you know, these will be a little bit more gauged based on, you know, the amount of training that you're trying to accumulate. But again, we have to see how they release it. All right. Another major question that you guys were asking about, with all the free stuff that you guys are getting from the pre-orders and everything else that goes into that, yo, Gmia, is it going to be smart for us to probably, you know, sell off some of that stuff to see what we can get for the NAT value? For most of you guys that already know, the veterans, the NAT value is going to give you half of what the actual training point value is. So for instance, if we go into my item binder right now, all the veterans, you know, you guys pretty much know this, but this is for everyone. I don't know if they're going to keep it like the same exact way, because remember, later in the year, they started to make, like, even with these NATs that are the rookie premieres, they give you the full value of a 99. Usually it typically would be half. So if you had like a NAT player, I think I have like a Anthony Bard that was a NAT. Hold on, let me see if I can find him, because that would probably be the easiest way to kind of explain it so you guys can understand what I'm saying. What did I have him? Where's Anthony Barr at? Yeah, okay, so look, you see how this is NAT, right? If I go ahead, I'm gonna take the card out. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna refund the upgrade. I'm gonna refund this upgrade, right? So look, when I go to his card now with his 90 overall, they're gonna give me half of what an actual 90 overall card is. So you see how that's 1100? That's 1100 because he's a NAT. Now, another 90 like this guy, you'll see that he's 2200. So those things are going to play huge into what goes on with the free stuff that you get, because obviously when you go to MVP rewards, if you guys played 17, 18, and 19, you're going to be getting, I think, what is it, like 3 packs, and you could choose like 3 players of 82 overall or whatever. Those players are going to be NATs, so you're going to get half of whatever the 82 overall value is, which is not a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? But for most of us, we probably will not need those cards. If you guys are going to be going after MUT Master, that's something else I'm going to have to talk about, because a lot of you guys were asking about, you know, the best way to attack MUT Master at launch. The best way to attack MUT Master is, if they do it the same way with the objectives and the progress, is to not upgrade your team immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the situation that goes on, right? I will continue to stress to you guys over and over again how important objectives and MUT level is in Madden. Like, since this whole thing was created, this is something that you're checking on the daily. You have no idea, well, most of you guys do, how much this saved me in different instances, like just being able to log in and see what was going on. Because if I did not do this, I would not be able to determine what actively was, you know, going on with the promos and whatever like that. Even before EA started tweeting everything out, you know, this stuff was really, really good, because you could just always go here, and it pretty much resets like 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you'll be able to see it, like what's going on a daily basis and things like that. And yeah, it's gonna be very important to do those daily objectives, because more than likely they're going to tie that into MUT Master again, because they don't want people getting MUT Master so early. So that's gonna be tied into it. All right. So when you look at that value of the NAT cards that you're gonna get, in addition to all the loyalty tokens that you guys have, you're gonna have to understand, in some cases, it doesn't really matter if you quick sell it immediately or you use it, you know, to upgrade your team. Like initially, like say you have to win like 5 or 10 games with a 78 overall or something. Those cards may help you do that. After you use those cards to do that little thing, you don't need them anymore. Everything else can go. You don't need to keep the cards. Those 82 overalls or whatever, once you meet the criteria, if you guys are going after MUT Master, that's just to address you guys that are specifically asking about that. You don't need the cards. The 82 overall ain't doing nothing for you on the gridiron. You go out there with an 82 overall squad, they're gonna take care of you accordingly. And you're gonna be writing comments like, yo, Gmia, I just got straight up reamed. You don't need to do that. Remember, I wouldn't really go out into head-to-head without maybe saying like an 85 overall team. But remember, you can set different lineups. So you can have your lineup, you know, for MUT Master, and then, you know, you play those games against the computer for the MUT Master or whatever. Because remember, the games that you have to win, I don't think that you have to win them against, like, you know, head-to-head ranked. When it's the lower overall teams, you just have to win games. So you can play it online if you want to, if that's what you like, but most of us just play that part offline, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something that goes into it. You're gonna have to still play a certain amount online, but when your team is like low overall, like, you know, like 68 overall, winning 10 games, you could just do that with the missions that's gonna be going on within Madden 20. So after you do all of that, right, this is gonna be the next step, because this is something that's very, very important to everything that goes to training. If you are somebody that's going to be grinding the missions and using your MUT coins for that situation, you are going to have to probably stick with, you know, the gold player packs and things like that, and try to get lucky if you're looking to get elites without spending or buying a bundle at launch. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is so expensive, and it's wild. All right. So if you got 7,500 coins, because just because, you know, you're not going to spend money, that doesn't mean that you can't evolve just like everybody else. It's just that you have to get luckier than everybody else, because if you're grinding no money spent and you're not pulling decent packs out of your solos or whatever, yo, bro, you're gonna be, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad for you. But most of you guys get lucky and you get a big pull at the start. So that was something else that you guys were asking about. If you pull a crazy elite to start the year off, is it worth it to get maximum training from a crazy elite and just start to build your team? I would probably sell that elite. And let me explain to you why. Just like everybody else that is looking for those high elite cards, like, you know, we are going to be when we start getting into the groove of Madden, the earlier you get a high elite, the more the value is going to be of that elite. So I would probably sell it, get the coins, have the value that way, because once you have a decent amount of coins, you can manipulate everything that goes on with the sets and the auction house. What does that mean, manipulate? Say, like for me, like I keep telling you guys, I pulled Eric Berry at launch, right? So he was like I think like an 88, 89, whatever he was. I chose to keep him. It was a nat. That came out of the loyalty packs, which most of you guys already have your loyalty tokens, and you guys are waiting for that. I've already put out several videos about it. We're going to be eating crazy with all of our loyalty tokens. So pretty much I did the defensive elite player pack, and I pulled Eric Berry. So it's like, boom, all right, cool. I got somebody right there that's raw that I can utilize, you know what I'm saying, in different type of aspects as far as Master, upgrading the team to a better overall, etc., etc. Not only that, I can put him in my lineup and go play head to head. Now, would it be worth it for me to quick sell him for training points as a nat? In certain cases now, with the way that Madden 20 plays, I would say yes. Let me explain why. The game plays so specific to attributes, which is why these NFL players are going wild about their ratings, because they are geared up for star play. So what that means is you getting the training points early is going to emphasize your lineup that much more. So in this case, it could possibly be even more important than keeping that Eric Berry with the high overall like we did this year. You see what I'm saying? Because the game played differently, so it was like, all right, whatever, I got Eric Berry, we're gonna keep him out there, it don't matter. We gotta have a, you know, a decent overall to keep accumulating these wins so that we could go forward. But now, selling him to upgrade another skill position to make that player play better is probably gonna be worth it. So the whole scenario of the training points is this. At launch on day one, I'm going to be updating you with the protocol. That's number one. Number two, we're going to have to see how the upgrades work towards certain players, because remember, you only get 3 and 3 as far as star abilities on offense and defense. So we have to be very smart about that, and that's going to lessen the amount of training points we have to use at certain positions as well. Number three, make sure if you buy a bundle that you refer to the video that I put out before about should you buy a bundle day one, just to kind of understand the gist of what you're going to be getting out of it, and that'll explain further. Number four, if you're not following me right now on Twitter, stop the video, go and do that right now, because that's where you're going to get your daily updates. Facebook, Instagram, all at GmiasWorld. You're going to get more and more things as Madden gets closer to the launch. I will give you guys information that I know that you need to have to make your team that much better. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love.